everybody, and welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I am here today to do another craft along. So I'm still working on ephemera for my farm journals, and I had made something similar to these tags a long time ago with the first farm journals I did, which was a long time ago. And I had a couple of people, ask for a tutorial on how I did them, and I just never did. Like I said in my last video, I just didn't used to do tutorials, but I do them now. So since I was making some more of these, I thought, well, let's just do them together on camera. So the thought behind this is in a lot of older farmhouses and things that I've been in, punched tin, either in the ceiling or in the backsplash, was a pretty common thing. It's very durable, but it's also fashionable. And I know that this is used in a lot of other styles of architecture as well, but I just know that I've seen it in some farmhouses and wanted to replicate that. Matter of fact, my parents, who don't live in a farmhouse at all, they live in town, in a town of 200 people. So really in town is, it's all relative, but they just put a faux punched tin ceiling tiles into their kitchen, and it looks really awesome. So anyway, that's kind of what this idea is. So it's relatively easy to achieve, but it has such a cool effect. It has such a cool payoff. And I'm hoping, let's see. Are you able to see? Yeah, you're able to see how they're reflective, and you'll get a better shot of that when we do the flip through when we do the process. But they also have a double pocket on the front here with some ephemera in them. So there's a better feeling of what the tag looks like. There, you can really see the shine now. This is a better idea of what the tag looks like without its little ephemera in there. But then once you put some cute ephemera in there and zhuzh it up a bit, it's a really cute thing. And then we've got a little mason jar with these cute little girls on it, and just a couple of pieces of ephemera, farm ephemera from, I think, TaylorMade Journals, and I don't remember what the other kit is. I have to look it up so I can have it out here as I'm doing tutorials, because it's a great kit. Yeah, so let's just do a little crafting. So the first thing I did is my daughter Joy has been running tons of die cutting. So coming very soon is a video of all of the stuff that Joy, my nearly 13-year-old, is adding to my shop. She's going to have her own section, and she's quite the little entrepreneur, and we're using it to learn about, business and stuff. So as she was punching out a bunch of tags, this size tags, so then I said, well, let me grab some of those, and I'm going to send them through. So I sent them through my Big Shot real quick with the embossing folder. So this one is like a cane back chair, but I picked the three that I had that reminded me the most of like what a punched tin pattern would be. So this is this kind of flowery one. And then this one is like the star, I don't know, stars, kind of star shaped. And then this is that cane back chair. So this is the cane back chair right here, which I like the way that looks. And then this is the star one, which I think is my favorite. And then I've got a finished flower one here too, and we'll use this one because it's already dry as we go. But I'm going to show you how I paint it and kind of distress it. So I'm just going to pick one of those, and the first thing we're going to do is paint and distress it. So I have two paint brushes here. I have a like a nice one that'll give me a good coat, and then I have a really choppy dry brush texture kind of one here, because we'll be doing some dry brushing over the top. And I'm just using I have I have thousands of these old library cards, so I'm going to use that as my little palette. But the first thing I'm going to do, so I have these, they're Artist Loft, which I believe is Michael's brand, and they were not very expensive at all. And I know that stores are starting to open back up in a lot of states. Hopefully ours will open on Monday. It sounds like it, because this girl needs a trip to the Hobby Lobby. So anyway, I'm using silver, copper, and metallic black. So these are metallic paints. And I think there were 2 other ones that came. It was like a set of 5. And I think I got gold and old gold as well. So I don't have that much silver left, but I have enough to do this. You can see it's sticking to my nail polish. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and I'm just going to squirt some of this right onto the tag, because we're going to give it a really good coat of the silver. So I'm going to brush that around. And since I'm working on a glass craft mat, I'm not going to worry too much about getting it all over the craft mat, because we'll just clean that up. But you do want to, now once you've done this punching, you run it through the embossing, you want to make sure that you get all the different little, angles, the different sides of this. So I kind of swirl my brush around, and then at the end I'll give it a nice like back and forth stroke to get it, evened out. But I want to make sure that I hit all the sides and edges, because I don't want to see any white left from the tag. I just want there to be silver everywhere. And the bottom part doesn't matter as much, because that'll be mostly covered up by our pockets. However, if you're going to do these without pockets, which you certainly could, and I still may. Okay, so now that if you were going to do them without pockets, let me complete my thought here, then you certainly would want to make sure you get a good even coat on this whole thing, and all the way to the edges. So then once I'm satisfied that I've hit like all the little grooves and stuff, I'm just going to give it a couple of nice even back and forth strokes like this, just to give it a nice even covering. Plus that'll help with the metallic paint to give it better shine quality once it dries up, rather than if we were swirling it all around. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Okay, so I am going to set this brush down here for a sec, and I'm going to hit this with my heat gun. Now, you don't want to hit acrylic paint with the heat gun too much, because it'll cause it to bubble and everything. So I'm going to hold it quite a ways back from it, probably 8 or 9 inches back from it, and just kind of use it to generally dry it up as quick as I can. I won't make you listen to this because that's obnoxious, so I'll cut this part out. Okay, so I've dried it up. It is not all the way dry, because again, I didn't want to bubble up my paint too much, and you're gonna get some on the back, and that is fine. You could be extra careful with it and not get it on the back, but it's hard to write on the embossed side of the tag, and I do want this to be somewhere that people could journal potentially, or notes or whatever. So I'm going to cover this with coffee stain paper anyway, so I don't mind that it's around the edges, because that means that it's gotten to the edges here. So see how we have this super nice sheen right now? I love that. Already looks like metal, like tin punch, right? But I'm going for old farmhouse look, not new farmhouse look. So I want to age this up a bit, so you can see the difference between this one and this one. And this one has like some more depth to it as well. So that's what we're going for. So in order to do that, we're going to use the metallic black and the copper. And I'm going to put some, just a tiny little bit. That's probably way too much, because sometimes it just glues out too fast. But I'm going to just use a little tiny bit of the black and my dry brush. So this is a really scratchy dry brush, and I'm only going to take just of the edge of that and dab it off a bunch. And then This might freak you out because it might look a little bit too dark at first, but don't worry. We're layering. We're layering. But this black is going to give it some depth, which will help with making it look a little aged. So I'm just dry brushing, you know, I'm dabbing off a majority of the paint and just dry brushing over the top. And what it's doing is catching it around the edges of the part that's been embossed. And then it kind of gives it a shadow almost, which is cool. Okay, so now you can definitely see that there is shadow to that. However, I also want to add just a slight hint of this copper because I think it just, I don't know, it just gives it the zhuzh that I love. So I'm going to dry brush, and I'm kind of just mixing it right here where the black was as well. Let me move my little palette over so you can see better, right? So I'm just hitting it right where this black is, and I'm going to kind of just go, and I'm not going everywhere with the copper. I'm just going in a few places. You know how like when metal wears down, you can kind of see the other color of metal underneath it? So that's kind of what I'm going for here. Like it's been wiped down 100 times. It's worn down. It's the backsplash, right? Okay, fantastic. I'm happy with how that looks. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm using just the little bit of silver that's left on this brush. And I'm going to brush a little bit of silver over the top. Well, there wasn't quite enough. Last time there was a little enough. I'm going to put just a teeny little blob of silver there. And I'm going to just dry brush that over the top to give it, again, to bring the silver back up to being the top color. So this is just, again, bringing silver back to the top and mellowing out some of the black and copper. So there we go. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest? The camera's picking it up pretty good. In person though, if you do this, like in person, this is just the coolest look. And I mean, really, it looks like punched tin. It's the coolest looking thing. Anyway, so this isn't fully dry, and I don't want to keep getting, you know, silver on the edges of things on my hands. So I'm going to give my board another quick clean here and get my brushes in some water. And then I'll be back and we'll work with this one. Hold on just a second. Okay, so now we are back. I've cleaned my mat off. I've gotten rid of the paint stuff. And we're going to go with this one that's already finished. Now, they have the like coolest feel to them when they are finished. I really enjoy this, guys. So you could do this. I mean, you could emboss and paint it gold and do other looks with it, depending on what kind of journal you're working on. But yeah, or industrial, right? You could make it kind of industrial for like steampunky things and stuff. Anyway, I've got just old offcut pieces here of coffee stained paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is adhere this to the back, and we will cut around it. So I'm going to give it a good little layer of glue here. I'm not going to worry about the edges too much because I am going to sew around, but I am going to worry a little bit more around that hole just because I want, you know, the stained paper to have a good adherence there. All right, and we're just going to slap that down. Okay, put my little glue pin in with trying to do it with my left hand, which is totally inept at doing anything other than being an assistant for my right hand. My left hand is inept. That's just the best word for it. Okay. So we've got that on there good. And we're going to trim around it. And then eventually I'm going to sew around it in a minute here. That's why I didn't worry about the edge too much, because I like to sew around the edges of things when I've stained them, when I've covered them, you know, back them with paper. Just because I don't ever trust my glue job around the edges, and I don't like things picking up around the edges. So I'm trying so hard not to cut the edge of the tag or nick it, because it's got that cool metallic patina edge on it, and I don't want to nick that and then you can see the white tag underneath. I'm trying hard. Okay. Scrap and garbage. Okay. So we've got that on there. And then I'm going to punch the hole through the coffee stained paper. There we go. So now we have a hole back there. And then the next thing is we want to build up some pockets. So, you know, at this point, you could take the tag and do lots of different things with it. You could just layer up some images on there, sew around the edges, you know, whatever. You could turn it into, before, when I made these, I didn't do it out of a prefabbed tag shape. I did it just out of a square. And then I punched 2 holes up here and ran some twine or something through it and had a hangy tag in front, kind of like a Tracy Fox tag, with a pocket and then like a nice big hangy piece in front. Those were really cool. But since Joy had punched these tag bases, I decided to run them through and just use the tag base pieces. So that's what I'm working with. So I'm just putting pockets and then putting some ribbon or something up here. So I grabbed a few scraps from my current projecting. And isn't this cool paper? I love this. The cherries and like how it looks like it's quilted fabric kind of almost, or something, scrap fabric. So I'm going to make the base pocket out of this, which has got to be a little bit taller. So I'm going to line that up and trim off what I want. I mean, you could at this point be making this into, you know, you could make this a fold out and put a notebook in there. You could do all kinds of things. This is just what I'm doing. Then I think we'll put this wood looking piece down here on the bottom. There we go. But you know me, I cannot just handle having a plain top on there. We need some lace. So let's see. Let's go with this thicker one on the bottom. Thicker lace down there. And so I'm going to sew those across. That's the back side. There we go. I'm going to sew that across, and let's see, do I want lace on top here, or do I want, I've got some little, no, that's not enough. It needs texture. Nope, just lace. I'm going to go with the second piece of lace. I can hear Jamie in my head. Everything is better with lace. Actually, I just bought one of Carrie the Crafter's kits, a lace kit, because I was like, I don't know, I saw it and I was like, boy, a whole lace, just lacy journal. That would be super fun. Okay, so I am going to, the first 2 things that I'm going to do, did I just flip that the wrong way again? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with crocheted lace which side is the front. I think this one is. So what I'm going to do is First, I'm going to sew this piece of lace across the top. Then I'm going to sew this piece of lace across the top. And then I am going to sew the whole thing around to sew the pockets on, right? So again, I'm going to cut this part out so you don't have to just watch me sewing, but I'm going to sew across here, then sew across here. And then I will take those two pieces, layer them, and I'm going to sew around the whole tag, which will affix these two pockets to the tag. So I will do that, and so I will be right back. All right, here we go. I have the tags sewn on, the pockets. So there's a pocket there, and there's a pocket there. And they are sewn, the entire tag is sewn all the way around, which you can probably see better on this side. Now I'm going to just ink around the edges of this on the back side. Like so. There we go. And make sure that I have I forgot to ink my pockets before I put them on, before I sewed them on. So that's fine. Now, all that is left is to find some cute ephemera to go in here, which I have picked out a few things from the kits that I have sitting over here. If you're watching this and one of these is your kit, then let me know. Well, TaylorMade, I know one of these is, some of this stuff is from your kits. Okay, yeah, I think this is probably the best stuff that'll fit in here. I have this super cute little half-pint bottle of milk. That would look pretty cute going in there. This is from my Farmer's Wife kit. So that could go in. And then I have another one of these fresh eggs. That's Graphics Fairy. So we could put the little half pint over there. That's kind of cute. And then I think somewhere over here I have, yeah, look at that. A little milk. That's cute, huh? That can go there. Look, there's like there's a 1 pint, and then somewhere in here there's you guys should see my massive pile of, oh, here it is. Isn't that cute? 1 quart, 1 pint, half pint. So cute. Matter of fact, could this bigger one go back here? Oh, I don't know if I want to use them both in the same place though, because they're just too cute. But I might save this milk for this. And then I do have a couple of little words. Let's see, what do I have here? Sweet breezes in the garden. Have a full-on The Farmer's Wife. You could put that at the bottom there, huh? Oh, that's a little too wide. I want one that kind of goes to one side. Fresh off the vine, I have Horse and Plow. I just have farm. We could just put farm there. That works. I'm good with that, but you know what it needs, right? It needs cheesecloth behind it. I've got this little bitty chunk here that I'm trying to use up. Little stragglies. Waste not, want not. So we'll put that down here. And then all we need is some sort of ribbon or something at the top. So you can see this is not a very difficult thing to do, but it's super cute. The payoff from this background of tags for like making the punch tin look is really big. I love it. Okay, there we go. And then I have got some, let's see, muslin. I've got, you know what, let's put some of this cute green check. There's tons of people outside right now. We've had some cold, rainy, weird days here in Minnesota. And then all of a sudden now we've hit just this gorgeous partly sunny, you know, kind of sun goes behind clouds a little bit every now and then, but it smells, you know, that smell of spring in the air. And I really don't know what else to call it. It's not even quite petrichor because that is like rain, but this is like a combination of just earth and budding trees. And I don't know, it smells fantastic. Okay. So look at that. Cute. So there you go, guys. Whoops. That is how I made my punch tin ceiling tags. So I really hope that you will try this out. Like I said, they have such a great hand feel to them, but you could really use them in a lot of different ways, or you could just make a big sheet of this. Well, it's hard to, you know, your embossing folder is only so big, but you could make big enough pieces to make them as pockets, which actually, as I'm saying that now, I think I might do. Make some as pockets on pages in your journal. That would work really cool. But yeah, this is just the technique. So I made them as tags, but you can use them for a lot of different things. Anyway, stay tuned. I have at least one more craft that I am going to come do in this series on kind of making my farm stuff. But who knows? I know I have one more that I want to show you what I did. And then, you know, who knows where we go from there, guys. Oh, but we will have stay tuned because we will have a video showing all of the things that Joy is adding to my shop coming in the next day or two here. So we're working on organizing her stock so that we can get it listed and everything. Oh, this one here, I forgot to mention, I had to put a disc reinforcer here because as I was putting this on, I was pulling it through and just like almost ripped the entire thing out. So the hole, you know, like rip the hole out. So if that happens, you can always put a hole reinforcer, or you can do what I did and just punch a 1-inch punch and put one on the front and back. And it actually kind of adds to it. It's kind of cute that way. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit today. I hope you all are having a wonderful, fabulous, crafty day. And I will see you guys all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, middle of the night, whatever time it is on whatever side of this fantastic shared planet of ours that we all live on. And until I see you guys all again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay crafty and sane. God bless. Bye, everybody.